You ready to rock?
I'm ready to rock. Hello, everybody. I want to welcome you all to the City of Champions, the City of Garfield. Today we have a champion here right now to talk about schools, the Emergent Project Program, the SDA. Without further ado, let's bring our City of Champion, our governor, Governor Murphy. Round of applause, everybody.
Great to see you. I love the sign there, too. Yes, it is. They did it for you. I love that. Rich, thank you, man. That was quite an introduction. I wasn't ready. Hello, everybody. By the way, this is not why we're here today. I was in Atlantic City yesterday dedicating a new supermarket. First supermarket in Atlantic City in 15 years. It was 75 degrees. Today I've got 18 layers of clothing on. A little bit of a different weather pattern. Rich, thank you, man. Mr. Mayor. By the way, not only a mayor, but principal at the Garfield Middle School, right? So this is a guy who knows why we're, the reasons why we're here today. But thank you for always welcoming me and all of us so graciously to Garfield. City of Champions, home of the Boilermakers. To you and members of council, I also want to give Anna Siaka a shout out, our superintendent here. Anna, honored to be with you. Who we're also going to hear from shortly, and through you to your entire leadership team, Board of Education. Thank you for your commitment to excellence in public education. We're at the back. This is the Christopher Columbus, right? So to the team here, the educators, the staff, the kids, honored to be here today, to each and every one of you. We got a great team today. We got Acting Education Commissioner Dr. Angelica Mcmillan. Great to be with you. We got the guy who runs the CEO of the New Jersey Schools Development Authority, a great leader as well, Manny De Silva. Manny, great to have you with us. Just pulled up, dear friend, great leader, Senator Nellie Poe is in the house. I'm told Steve Tonelli might be here. Steve, are you here? I don't see him. Or Gordon Johnson. I know they were trying to make it. Give them a shout out. I also want to give a shout out to the brothers and sisters in organized labor, Cesar Gamillo and the Bergen County Building Trades VPs, also operating engineer, 825. Great to have you here, Cesar. I didn't see, is Ray Woodall here? Is Ray, you here? I know Ray was trying to come here. Where are you, Ray? You're in the back. Nice to see you, man. Thank you for everything. Great to see you. Operating Ray's Iron Workers Local 11 is also on the State Building Trades Council. Lots of important folks here today. I'm honored to be with you. Not the reason why we're here, but just to reiterate, I don't have the fully baked COVID numbers for today, but what is happening is exactly what we had expected to happen. We're all starting to get back indoors, living, this being an exception, obviously. Dr. Lamont Repollet is here, by the way, president of Kean University. Lamont, great to be with you. So we're all living our lives back inside, and as we do, we expected that the numbers are going to go back up. So they've bounced up 100 or more hospitalizations over the course of the past week. So we just got to remind folks the number one thing we can do is to get vaccinated. If you're eligible for a booster, get boosted. We're going to have more news on that on Monday at our COVID press conference. If you've got a kid who's from 5 to 11, those are now authorized to go. Please go out and get these are safe and effective. The faster we get ourselves protected, the faster we can get to better days and lifting mask mandates in schools and other stuff that are driving people crazy, including yours truly. So I just want to make sure I give that commercial out. Please stay at it, folks. And if you're inside and you're not sure of people's status, when in doubt, throw a mask on. So we all share a few common goals, all of us gathered today. First and foremost, we share an unwavering commitment to our kids and their families and to our educational communities. We share a commitment to not only maintaining our state's place as home of the top-ranked system of public education in the country, but ensuring that every child and every community has a place under that banner, and that includes safe and modern schools. And we share a commitment to keeping our communities affordable for working families and seniors. And today is a day where all of these guiding principles converge. I'm proud to announce that the Department of Education and the SDA, working together, are today releasing to our schools a total of $75 million to help defray the costs of capital maintenance and emergent infrastructure projects. Since I signed the state budget in June, the Department of Education and SDA have been working together on creating an equitable formula for distributing these funds, with $50 million of that 75 being directed to SDA districts, including Garfield, which is receiving an excess of $850,000, and $25 million for all regular operating school districts. Now, these aren't just critical funds for making sure our schools remain safe and welcoming spaces for our kids and educators. Yes, every dollar is going to be put to work on projects, large and small, to ensure our school buildings can meet the needs of the future. But what's more is that every single dollar of these funds is a dollar of property tax relief. Every single dollar being distributed is a dollar that school boards do not have to ask from local property tax payers. And moreover, as these dollars are put to work to meet immediate needs, they will in turn put men and women across the building trades to work. In our administration's first 4 years, we increased overall investment in public education by more than $3 billion over what the previous administration did in their last 4 years. $3 billion. And no other state in America has done that. And by the way, it's taken multiple forms: direct classroom aid, pre-K expansion aid, transportation aid, debt service relief, among many others. And every single one of these $3 billion is one that property taxpayers could keep in their pockets. This is how we make New Jersey more affordable, by partnering with our communities, in this case our educational communities, to help them meet the needs of today without having to ask property taxpayers for another dollar tomorrow. And through this partnership and through these investments, we are making our communities more attractive and welcoming for new families to set their roots, while also making sure long-term residents don't have to pull up their roots. We are protecting the value of the investment residents make in their communities, especially in their homes. From funds that help purchase the books being used in our classrooms to funds that actually keep the walls standing in that classroom, all of our efforts together has a deep, deep impact. These efforts have reestablished our state, as I said, as the nation's benchmark for public education. These efforts are going to establish us as a state where young families and seniors can both afford to live side by side and take pride in their community together. And a strong public school can be the point of commonality from which that pride spreads. Again, I'm proud to announce this investment today. They're going to pay dividends many times over for our tomorrow. Thank you again, Rich, and everybody here in town for having me and welcoming me so graciously always. It is now my pleasure to hand things over to the Acting Commissioner of the Department of Education, Dr. Angelica Allen Mcmillan.
Thank you, Governor Murphy, and good morning to you, Senator Poe, Executive Officer De Silva, Superintendent Siaka, other honored guests, including Mayor Riggs, our County Commissioner, who was mentioned earlier, Mr. Tonelli, Garfield board members, what a pleasure to meet you earlier, and our local and county elected officials, and everyone in attendance. I am ecstatic to be here today and applaud Governor Murphy's $75 million investment, which will continue to provide students across the great state of New Jersey with access to facilities commensurate with the high-quality education they deserve. Thank you to the legislature for affirming a budget that directly invests in the School Development Authority and, subsequently, education excellence. Emergent and capital facility maintenance of our school buildings ensures the infrastructure of our education system mirrors that of the education quality transpiring within those facilities. Regardless of the location of the student or facility, equity of high-quality education is necessary for outcomes that support pre-kindergarten through post-secondary success. In September, I was fortunate to join Mr. De Silva in Camden, where the School Development Authority ushered forward the life-changing project Camden High School. Camden High campus, actually. The energy was palpable as educators, students, and caregivers fill the halls of the transformative learning environment on a guided tour. The continued investment in the School Development Authority will continue the trajectory of deserved and profound change across the state, specifically in the wake of the pandemic. The Department of Education commits to our current and future partnership with the School Development Authority to enhance physical environments conducive to learning that undoubtedly forward the future of education by removing and mitigating facility costs compromising outcomes. Thank you once again, Governor Murphy, for your continued commitment to the students of New Jersey.
Thank you, Angelica, for that and for your leadership. Deeply appreciated. It is now my honor to bring up the guy who runs the School Development Authority. Please help me welcome another great leader, Manny De Silva. Manny?
Good morning. Thank you, Governor Murphy. It is my pleasure to be back in Garfield today, where the SDA opened a new James Madison Elementary School just a few years ago. Thank you, Superintendent Siaka, Mayor Riggs, for welcoming us today. And thank you to Senator Poe, Assemblyman Wimberly, and Assemblywoman Sumter for your partnership. We all know that significant school facilities needs exist here in Garfield and in districts throughout New Jersey. Special thanks to Governor Murphy and the legislature for the inclusion of $75 million allocation in this year's budget. Much needed funds will be directed towards improvement projects that will support safe and healthy learning environments. New Jersey has the best public schools and educators in the nation. SDA shares in the governor's goal to ensure that the educational facilities in the state best support the needs of the educators so that students can focus on learning. We are fortunate to share a productive partnership with Acting Commissioner Mcmillan and her team at the DOE. Together we have worked closely to roll out this program and get funds in the hands of school districts as soon as possible. We will work with both regular operating districts and SDA school districts to provide grants that address emergent and capital maintenance projects needs. The funding announced today is available to offset district costs so that they can make important and necessary improvements to their school facilities. This is a state investment that will result in improvements of schools throughout New Jersey, and therefore is an investment in the education of our state's next generation of leaders. In addition to benefiting our schools and communities, school construction projects, big and small, remain an economic driver for the state's vital construction industry and our partners in the trades. Many of the projects that will come from this funding have potential to specifically benefit New Jersey small businesses, the SMV or SMW VOBs, that's a mouthful, sorry. Through important initiatives such as this administration is helping to modernize and improve the educational infrastructure of our state to provide the best possible learning environment for our students now and in years to come. Thank you for this opportunity, and thank you, Governor Murphy. Thank you.
Thank you, Manny. Well said and well done. You know, a budget, two comments about the monies here today. Number one, this is another good example where we had a little bit more financial latitude, and instead of having to bond for this money, we're able to literally take it right straight off the budget. $75 million, again, 50 of that 75 for SDA districts and 25 for the other operating districts. That's not something that happens often in this state, and that was the prudent right thing to do. Secondly, and most importantly, budgets just don't materialize on my desk. You need great legislative leaders who pound away and forge these budgets, and many times and often times in discussions and negotiations. But we enjoy an extremely strong and productive relationship in both chambers in the state, and we have now for several years, and we've got a lot done as a result, including exactly why we're here today. And with that, speaking on behalf of the legislature, an outstanding Senator, Chair, please help me welcome dear friend Nellie Poe.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you so very much for those kind words. Good morning to everyone. I am absolutely so incredibly pleased and happy to be here today. It's so wonderful to see so many of you. President Ripollet, nice to see you again. It's been a while, so I'm so happy to see it. But thank you, Governor. Thank you to all of the elected officials and public officials who are present here today, to our acting commissioner, Dr. Mcmillan, to so many of my friends and colleagues in government, as well as school administrators, staff, and public officials. Let me just say good morning to our great mayor. Mayor, it's so wonderful to see you. Also to our superintendent, thank you so very much. You know, we're here for a very important reason, and we're here as a state, as we recommit new funding to build and maintain sound, stable, and state-of-the-art facilities for our schools and our students, as it's already been mentioned, who will clearly need every single extra advantage that they can get to succeed in the 21st century world. Let me just point out that as a state legislator, and I've been a member of the legislature for quite some time, school construction has always been a priority of mine. I've always been supportive. I was very happy, Governor, to be supportive of the particular funding in this year's budget that you talked about. It cannot be more, nothing can be more important than being able to provide the best possible education for our students. And the only way that you can do that is to ensure that we have facilities that are providing the learning environment that they indeed need to have in order to do that. And as many of our aging buildings, as I recall, not too long ago, a couple of years ago, Mayor, you may recall how we tore several of the schools right here in the city of Garfield, where in fact many of them, who were, some of which were 100 years old or so. Tom, you'll remember that day. We actually had an opportunity, Governor, to see what the need was right here in the city of Garfield. So to be able to come back and to be able to be here with so many of you that joined us that day, to be able to say we finally have the opportunity to put that into motion, to be able to say here, not only did we identify what the problem was, not only were we able to demonstrate that, not only did the school construction and school development authority was able to recognize that, but working closely with the Commissioner of Education today, we are able to say that we're so very happy that these fundings that we're talking about is really going to make a difference. It's going to make a difference in terms of what we can do for our students. You know, school, as I've mentioned, school construction, it plays a very important part in everything that we do. As a native of Patterson, many of you, all of which you know, I can tell you that we still have students going to class in schools that were built in the late 18th and early 19th century. Some of these schools are sound, structurally speaking, that is, but they need to be upgraded to compete in this digitized world. Our students, even those from low income and working class neighborhood, deserve the same opportunities, facilities, and first class classrooms that the more affluent districts take for granted. Our parents need to be able not to worry about whether their child is getting an equal opportunity to achieve as their peers in other parts of the state. And in these days in particular, our students are just getting used to coming back to the schools, right? To the actual classroom, seeing their teachers standing at the front of the class, teaching them on a one-on-one in smaller groups after the learning loss that was a result of the COVID pandemic. Both educators and our school children need to have access to all the physical, technical, and digital advances that we can afford to give them. and certainly, indeed, the maintenance and, where needed, construction of new school buildings, classrooms, chemistry labs, band rooms, audio-visual studios, athletic facilities should be the same for every child in New Jersey in order that we as a state live up to the letter and spirit of the words and the promise in our state constitution that say we are required to provide for the maintenance and support of a thorough and efficient education for all students, for every single child in our state. So with that, Governor, let me just say thank you once again for selecting our great city of Garfield to make this important announcement as we ensured that we are going to be providing the maintenance, the capital maintenance, and for making sure that we have those emergent projects are properly being taken care of all across the state. What a wonderful day it is for us today, and I look forward to seeing more of this. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, Nellie, as always, for your leadership and deep appreciation for everything you do in the education and far more broadly in the broader front. Patterson, by the way, is a beneficiary of this today, which is great, but it's probably a fraction of what it needs, right? And so at the end of the day, we need to stay at this. Last but not least, I do what the superintendent and the principal tell me what to do. Please help me welcome the superintendent of Garfield Public Schools, Anna Siaka. Great to have you.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Garfield Board of Education, the administration, our staff, students, families, the entire Garfield community, we welcome Governor Murphy to our district. Governor, it is an honor and a privilege to have you here in Garfield this morning as you are officially part of the Boilermaker family. Your long-awaited announcement today to expand funding for capital maintenance and emergent projects for schools is one that brings great joy, hope, and optimism to the Garfield community. It is fair to say that our district, like some others throughout the state, is plagued with issues that relate to aging schools, since 6 out of 7 elementary schools in Garfield are over 100 years old. But despite the deteriorating physical conditions of our schools, our biggest challenge is overcrowdedness and insufficient space for instruction. The promise that you bring today represents just the beginning. We are hopeful that funding will increase, and we will see the day when our students are out of the trailers and basement classrooms and learning in bright and well-designed learning spaces that facilitate creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and communication. Although we are not getting that type of funding today, we are very grateful for what we do receive, and please know that we will put that money to great use. We still are dreaming about the day that new schools can offer our students the expansion and future development of our great programs, introduction of new and exciting courses in our curriculum that will support the New Jersey learning standards, student expression through the arts, the integration of state-of-the-art technology, and so much more. But most importantly, we look to the day when our students will attend schools that instill pride and confidence in them as we prepare them with the skills and knowledge needed to succeed in the 21st century workplace. Since Garfield is known as the City of Champions, our district vision statement is appropriately called the Vision of Champions, to encourage, inspire, and support every individual to achieve more. Although we strive to do this each and every day, everything that you do to support us and give us the tools and resources we need keep us meeting that vision closer and closer and make it a greater reality for more and more students every single day. I want to conclude today by acknowledging the Garfield Board of Education members and thanking them for their continuous support and commitment to Garfield Public Schools, President Charles Nusafora, Vice President Jack Mazzola, Trustees Anthony Barquette, Carmen Brianti, Rich Derrick, Alan Focarino, Everett Garnto, Dane Leo, and Kathy Muniz. I also want to recognize the Bergen County Superintendent of Schools, Louis Delicio, who is always there to answer the calls from Garfield. Thank you, Mr. Delicio. And a quick shout out to my friend and colleague, Business Administrator and Board Secretary Giovanni Cusmano, who works every day to balance this budget and help us meet our district goals and objectives. Thank you again, Governor Murphy, for making good on the promise of equity and giving to our students what they truly deserve. Please accept this invitation to come back and visit our schools and classrooms anytime. We welcome you back wholeheartedly. Thank you so much. Everyone, thank you for being in Garfield today. Have a great day. Thank you, Governor Murphy.
Well done.
Thank you
Well
so
done.
much.
Thank you, Anna. That was terrific. So we're going to go for our members of the press. We're going to do a little something unusual today. Instead of doing any Q&A, Rich and Anna and I are going to challenge you all to a hopscotch face-off. So we're going to clear out the chairs. Nellie has committed and agreed to referee the competition. Nellie, thank you for that. But seriously, on behalf of all of us, first of all, to Team Garfield, Rich, thank you for always graciously hosting. Anna, to you and the whole board team, the educators, the staff, the kids and the moms and the dads in this great community, members of council. Obviously, Angelica and your team at the Department of Education. Manny, yours at the SDA. Nellie, you and your colleagues in the legislature. To the brothers and sisters in organized labor who will benefit mightily from this, and any more funding we can get on the street from the SDA. To all the distinguished guests who are here today, deep appreciation for your hosting us, and see you soon. Stay safe, get vaccinated, get boosted. Thank you all.